right, y'all, welcome back. So we're out here on a new adventure, and I have found a historical cemetery here. I spotted the sign on the highway a couple of weeks ago when I was out traveling with my wife. So I marked it down on maps, and here we are. And if you can tell, there are definitely some old headstones here. But the coolest part is there's actually a marker. I'll read this to you guys. It says DeWitt Historical Site. This is the site of the first permanent Cumming County settlement by the Benjamin B. Moore family in 1857. The town of DeWitt was laid out by an Omaha Town Site Company in 1857. The post office was established February 3rd of 1858 and discontinued in May 26th of 1871. In a hotly contested election in 1858, DeWitt lost the county seat to West Point by a vote of 12-7. All that remains of DeWitt is this native sod cemetery. So it's kind of wild. It must be pretty old. We'll wander around and take a look at some of these headstones. It looks like some of these over here might be the oldest ones, but there's some larger stones out here. Let's see what this says. Freeman Adams, May 14th of 1843 to December 21st, 1923. And it looks like a mother and father site here. Some of these are definitely newer, so it looks like they're still using it. Hard to even read these. Like, I can't even read that. Henry F. White died May 11th, 1884. Aged, I think that's a 63 years, 3 months, 7 days. Doesn't say, I can't read what it says below that. But there's inscriptions along this whole bottom portion. And Mary White died January 6, 1894, aged 68, 2 months and 5 days. This one you can read it. Let's see if I can read that. Gosh. Something, Mother, thou hear thy loss, be deeply feel, but it's God that hath beareth us. He can all over our sorrows heart. I don't know. It's hard to read it. Definitely some really old headstones out here. Casper? Dude's name was Casper. October 8th, 1855, aged 47 years. Somebody's fixed this one that was broken in half, and they've bolted it back together. It's interesting, man. I enjoy these old graveyards. It's just interesting to see. This one, there's a headstone that's fallen. These look like they're turned the other direction. Yeah. I think that says aged something months, 17 days, so it was young. It says son of A.S. Embrus. Wild. "17-year-old died May 2nd, 1877. Born March 20th, 1860. Lydia E. "73 years old. Rufus Rhodes." Like there's one single one over there. Let's go check that one out. What does that say? The Viola? I think that's Viola S. Born 1888? Maybe died 1949? I don't know. Like it's and this one had writing on the bottom, but it's so weathered you can't even read it. Some of these are definitely damaged. Like this one here, you can tell had something on the top of it that's no longer there. You can see there would have been something mounted up here. Well, that's new, but that's just a new headstone because 1899 and 1936. It's wild. And then that GAR is, I believe, Grand Army of the Republic. So one of them, so the father must have served. Ooh, man, he was old for that time frame. Died on June 30th, 1877. He was 93 years old. What does that say? Benjamin Richards. To have lived to 93 in the 1800s? That was incredibly old. I mean, even 93 in today's time, that's pretty old. I mean, I think that's longer than your average life expectancy. I think currently it's like 80, 88 might be it. And there's some tiny little markers here. This is a family plot. It looks like there's a marble thing that goes all the way around in a square, and those are like markers, mother and father. So there's probably some, I'm guessing, a kid in here too. Yeah, aged 1 year and 20 days. Bummer, but way back in the day, I mean, the infant mortality rates were very, very high. Looks like over here is probably the largest old one. Check that out. That one you can tell had something on top of it. Let's see. Can't even read it. MB Bustle, born December 26, 1850, died April 19th, 1881. I imagine this is like a husband and wife plot. Huh. I find these old graveyards incredibly interesting. And just like knowing that there was people here that long ago, you know? I mean, there was obviously people here before that, but you know, finding marked out graves like this is kind of wild. This guy was 35. Or Eliza, it was a female. Sarah, wife of Wyatt Loney, died March 2nd, 1871, aged 53 years, 9 months, and 8 days. It's kind of wild how they did that. You know, they don't give a birth and a death date. They don't give the birth date. I mean, you could go through and figure that out, but... All right, my hands are freezing. Let's hop back in the truck. Oh, it's cold out there. My truck says it's 32 degrees out right now, but it's gonna get colder, and it's not focusing on my face. There's a possibility of some snow tonight, so I've kind of been watching the weather and hoping I can find a spot where it's gonna snow at, because the forecast says it's gonna be like a pretty thin band of snow. But if I find the right spot, they're calling for up to 7 inches. So I've got all my junk loaded up, and we're gonna see if we can find ourselves a spot to camp in the storm. So stay tuned, y'all. All right, y'all, we have found a spot. There's people out here ice fishing. I gotta go get my ice junk. Still haven't got it out of my storage unit, but let's see if we can get the old heater plugged in because it's a little chilly. Power. We got power. And we got heat. Okay, well, I've got a couple hours of light left, so I think I'm gonna get myself a fire going. They don't have any picnic tables out right now. Guess I'll have to use my own chair or probably just stand around. I don't mind standing. They didn't bring any, I guess I do have. Try not to get everything too wet. Well, I think that's good. Probably just get my coat before I get cold. Yeah, that feels better. Not even sure what the low is tonight. We'll have to check. It's currently 32. We have a low of 20 tonight, and there's snow possible after 10. And it says in the next 48 hours here, 1 to 3 inches. So it might have moved again already, but it's supposed to snow from like 10 p.m. till 10 a.m. possibly. Hopefully we get some here. But we've got some in the forecast, and we've got some brutal temperatures coming up. Next week, the lows are 16, negative 16, negative 18, negative 17, negative 8. We should try and get out on one of those nights, but see how daring I am these days. Warm in here, y'all. It's cold out there, though. Got too much clothes on. Alright. I'm gonna get changed into my pajamas. I'll get back to you guys. Alright, got changed. Let's probably close some of these curtains. Heater kicks on and off. Probably get my thermometer out too. Feels good in here though. I had mentioned, I don't know, probably beginning of the season, the winter season, that I was thinking about a diesel heater. Kyle from All Dogs has a pretty nice all-in-one heater, but I watched him use it one time, and I think I'm gonna see if he'll let me borrow it for a night, see how it runs. Because if I'm gonna run a diesel heater, I'm gonna probably need a bigger battery pack. So, all stuff that I've mentioned before, but it would be nice to be able to run a heater and stuff like that without being plugged in, because that would, you know, especially around here, it would open the winter camping up a bit more for different areas, because, you know, right now I'm going everywhere I can that has electricity, which is fine because they're all empty right now. But depending on how you set your stuff up, you know, it would just open up camping more. And it's also, I've been talking to another local YouTuber, which some of you guys might know. He's been a big inspiration. I'm not going to name drop him. Maybe we'll get together. We've been talking about trying to do an ice camping trip, maybe in a week or so. But as far as ice camping goes, normally, I take my buddy heater and you got to run it off propane, and then you have to worry about CO2 and stuff like that. Like I've got a detector in here, but it would be nice to be able to do that in an ice hut, and then you don't have to worry as much about that. And I've also thought about it even at home in my garage, because when it gets this cold out, the heater, I have a heat pump in the wall in the new garage, and that thing, like, it won't shut off at this point. Like with as cold as it's going to be next week, that thing will run 24/7. But if I can mount a diesel heater just for like winter when it's super cold and run it through one of the windows, that would probably be very beneficial in my garage even. So I feel like I need to pick one up. So I need to see about Kyle and if he'll let me borrow one. This is saying that it's currently 60 degrees in here, which is probably right with the heater going. I'm gonna set this one out on the bumper. Everything's closed up. Time to make some dinner. I was impressed with this thing with the cast iron, so we'll give this another shot. But tonight we are going to make some soup. I think it was on the last live stream. Yeah, it was the last one. Right? Yeah. I got like 20 cans of soup in the mail. And I've eaten some at home for sure. The wife has enjoyed the fact that we had a few also, but I grabbed this one: spicy chipotle chicken and corn chowder. Chipotle chicken chowder. Can you guys see that? So we'll give that a try. I gotta adjust my lighting in here too at some point. Since I put that shelf up, that's better. Spicy. So we're gonna do that, and I picked up a bread bowl. So we'll do a bread bowl of chowder. I grabbed some fully cooked bacon, and we're gonna crumble up some bacon bits in there too. I think that'll be tasty. And I've got a couple of things in the cooler to go with this. I need a plate. We're gonna need that, and a spoon. That spoon will be good enough. You know what I don't have? Oh no, it doesn't matter. Alright. Shut that off anyways while we run this thing. But let's grab our stuff out of the cooler here. I grabbed a side salad, which should be tasty with this Southwest style chicken. And of course, gotta have that ranch. Should have got a couple of these probably, but I guess I don't need all the extra calories. And we're going to put some crispy jalapenos probably in the salad and in the soup. And of course, a nice liquid death to go with this. This should be fairly tasty. Let's hope. I've had a few of these Campbell soups before, the spicy ones. And, you know, although they say spicy, this one's also like they've got this little meter. Move my light again. They've got this little meter on here, if you guys can see that, and it's on the low end of the spicy side. They've got a couple of them that are like super spicy chicken ones and whatever, and I've tried those and they're good. Like, none of these mass-produced items from Campbell's are going to be so hot that you can't eat them, but if you don't like spicy food, you're probably not going to like it. Go ahead and get this guy going. I'm impressed with this little thing. It worked great for the grilled cheese, so I imagine it'll work just fine for this. Now, when we did the last one, I turned the heater off. I'm curious if we can run them both. If I pop the breaker, it's not a big deal, but I've got the heater set to, it's turned on 80 degrees, so it's turning on and off, but that window's open, so I still have some air ventilation. Oh, I've got a cup right here. I didn't think I had a cup with me, but I grabbed some cold coffee. We'll see what we have in the morning. Do I need a big one? That'll fit in a small one, right? It's gonna have to. I guess let's hope these work with this thing. We're going to turn her on 600 watts, medium, just 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and get this going. So, yeah, spicy chipotle chicken, spicy chipotle chicken and corn chowder. Let's see, seasoned with chili pepper and chipotle adobo chipotle. You know, on was it the last video when I had the Gyarados? For whatever reason, it never crossed my mind that was pronounced as like an H or whatever, you know, in Spanish. All my life, I've called that Gyarados, and not being funny. Like, I call jalapenos jalapenos all the time, but for whatever reason, it never occurred to me that that's how that was stated. But it smells good already. Eat all the goop. All right, well, we're cooking. I'm gonna put bacon bits right in there and like let them kind of cook in there with it, because I think it'll be tasty. If you guys have never had the fully cooked bacon, I use this quite a bit because you don't have to refrigerate it. Well, it says refrigerate after opening, but you don't have to refrigerate it to start with. I'm pretty sure, like Subway and wherever, those sandwich shops, if you get a sandwich that's got bacon on it, this is what they're using, and it's good. There's a few different brands that make this stuff. And I'm of the opinion that bacon makes everything better. Say dough slices. Alright. And another one for me. Oh. Stir that in there. I don't think there's any. Oh no, it's chicken. I was about to say I don't think there's any meat in here. Sometimes reading comprehension gets the best of me. That's good. I'm gonna turn this thing down. 65. All right. I need to turn that up a little bit. Yeah. It's not working. This thing doesn't work with these pans.
right? Oh no, there we go. Dummy. Go back to schmedium. You gotta hit the start button. You can't just turn it on. All right, it's working. If you take it off, it stops. All right. I would have sat here for a long time like that. Let's get our bread bowl ready. How's that looking? You got dipping bread there. Just pull a little bit more of this out of here. Oh. It's smelling really good. Smelling really good. All right. Let's get into our salad, kind of our starter here. So this is Southwest style chicken, romaine lettuce with fajita chicken, red bell peppers, kale, corn, black beans, and tortilla strips. Got them tortillas. If we can get it open. That smells really good. Get off of there. I think it's about time I build a new setup for this truck. I built this bed in 2015, which if you've been watching for a while, I've said that a few times. So I've been sleeping on this bed for 10 years. Camping out of this thing for 10 years. I enjoyed the new bed that I built for the Ford that's now gone. So I think it's time to build a bed for this one and maybe change the whole setup. I say it all the time, and then I go to do it, and I'm like, oh, this thing just works fine. What's the point of rebuilding it? But I think it's time to rebuild it. All right. Put some tortillas, some jalaps on there. It's like croutons, but slightly healthier, probably. And I'm gonna turn that down to low so we can eat this. Gotta put a piece of bacon in there. I didn't get any bacon bits. Lamb. Honestly, this is probably a bit much, but a nice hot soup on a cold night. Good stuff. Alright, I should have grabbed a fork. It's amazing how much, just having a bread bowl and like a side will make a soup so much better. I used to not eat much for soups just because they don't, like, you know, if you don't have a side, I don't feel like they fill you up as well. It's plenty of ranch, I guess. I think the only thing that could have made this better was maybe like toasting the bun on the fire, but I did not do that. Cooking outside right now, everything just gets cold so fast that it's hard to do it. That's good. And we got a couple servings of chicken out of this. This is probably ready. Did you guys see, like, I've been drinking a lot of these Liquid Deaths lately, and they started as a water company, and their big thing was they put water in cans, and it was kind of like, I don't know if it was like an FU to beer companies or something like that, is whatever, their company took off, but they're going to start making sodas, and I don't drink a lot of pop just because the sugar in them, like, I have a hard time just even getting through a pop because of the sugar content. But I'm excited to try one from Liquid Death. I haven't seen any yet in stores, so we'll see. Can I just set this thing down on the ground? It doesn't get super hot. Like, once it turns off, it cools off pretty quickly too, which is nice, especially for in here. All right. It's overflowing. That's fine. That looks tasty. Oh, that looks really good. We'll set that down there. All right, man. Look at that. That looks incredible. And to top it, we're going to put some crispy jalaps on there. These things are so good. You can find these on Amazon. They're expensive on Amazon if you can't find them in the store. They make red pepper, crispy red peppers also, but those are like almost impossible to find in the store. But you can always seem to find these. They do like crispy onions and stuff too, but these things are great if you've never tried them. I love them. All right. See what this soup's all about. Looks so good. You can't beat a bread bowl because you get so, like, it's so filling. Hot. I'm gonna have to let that cool down for a second. Dang old dang. Tell you what. Doesn't feel too spicy though. It's got a good flavor to it. That's good stuff. I can taste the bacon a little bit. I think I just got to buy that. think maybe for a future episode, I need to try to make soup from scratch. Like, I have never in my life made soup from scratch. Like, I've never got soup stock or broth or whatever and made my own soup. I should probably do that because I'm sure it's more healthy. These Campbell soup do have a lot of sodium in them. But anything that's pre-packed like this typically does have higher sodium because that's how they keep it shelf stable. One of the ways anyways. If you've never done a bread bowl, definitely give it a shot. I think this is the second time that I've done it. And yeah, it adds so much more to the soup, I feel like. And then you can eat that whole thing when you're done. As far as this being super spicy, it's definitely got a little bit of a kick to it. Although I do have the jalapenos on there. But not overly spicy by any means. If you enjoy spicy food, the Campbell spicy stuff is great. I'm curious, and I suppose I could just look it up on my phone, but what constitutes a chowder? What makes chowder chowder? What is chowder soup? Chowder is a thick, creamy soup or stew, typically made with seafood, potatoes, onions, and some sort of cream. The word chowder is derived from the French word chaudière, meaning cauldron, as the dish was originally prepared in large pots. The base is often thickened with milk or cream, but Manhattan-style chowder uses tomatoes instead. Chowder can be made with various seafoods, including clams, scallops, shrimp, lobster, crab, cod, or smoked salmon. Well, this is chicken. But those all sound tasty, like lobster chowder, lobster and crab chowder, shrimp, lobster, and crab chowder. I've had clam chowder before. It's been a long time. It's good though, man. It's really good. This next one says chowder is a soup made with broth that is thickened with flour and cream, with seafood and or vegetables mixed in. So I guess this isn't a traditional chowder because there's no seafood in it. Is a bread bowl like a white person taco salad? You know, because taco salads usually come in a big old, like a tortilla bowl. Is this a white person taco salad type of deal? I think the bacon definitely made it better. You can definitely taste the bacon. I mean, there's big chunks of it. I didn't chop it up too small. Overall, very satisfied with this for a cold night. What's your go-to soup? Favorite soup? If I had to say a favorite of mine would probably be chili. I don't know if you would. Some people would consider. I mean, it's soup, but I feel like chili is its own section of soup. If I was going to say like Campbell's soups that I've had, probably steak and potato. It's good. I mean, I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy, anyways. Yeah, we definitely got to try making our own soup from scratch. I'm not going to try to make a bread bowl from scratch, not at camp, but we could definitely make some soup from scratch. That was great. That was really good. I'd buy that again. That was tasty soup. Definitely had a kick to it. Like I said, we also had the jalapenos in there, so that does have an effect because these are spicy. I mean, they're just dried up jalapenos. But that was good. That was really good. I'm going to be a glutton here, and I'm probably going to eat the rest of this bread. Gotta clean my plate somehow, right? Alright. I'm gonna get this cleaned up. And I bought a movie. I don't do that very often, but it's been one I've been wanting to watch again, and I haven't seen it in a while. So Let me get this cleaned up and let's get a movie going. Kind of stuffed. I think I should have probably charged this. Let's see. So on Amazon, I didn't even rent it, I bought The Goonies. I haven't watched The Goonies in a long time, and it's always been one of my favorite movies. So I felt like it was just time to go ahead and purchase it. We've got it on Prime, so you can buy stuff on Prime, on Amazon Prime, and then you own it, and you can download it and watch it whenever you want. I mean, I own it, but you could download it so you can watch it when you don't have a signal. But I've got a few things. There's some good stuff on Amazon right now. They've got Big Trouble in Little China. Haven't watched that in a while either, but Freddy Got Fingered is on there. But yeah, we've got The Goonies, dude. It's such a great flick. I guess maybe some of you have never heard of this. Let me read you what it is on my phone. It came out in 1985, I know that, so it's almost as old as I am. And a lot of it was filmed in, is it Washington State? And years ago, I want to say it was probably 10 years ago at this point. I bet in 2014, my wife and I took a trip out there. We've driven the West Coast on like the Pacific Coast Highway, and we went to, you could get within like it was closer than a block. You couldn't go right up to the house that's in the movie. It was like down and around a corner, and they had the road blocked off because a lot of people have been there or have gone to it, I assume, but you couldn't get right up next to it. But it was cool to be in the area nonetheless. Let's see. It says it's about a band of adventurous kids who take on the might of a property development company which plans to destroy their home to build a country club. When the children discover an old pirate map in the attic, they follow it into an underground cavern in search of lost treasure, but come up against plenty of dangerous obstacles along the way. And it's a great flick. If you've never watched it, I highly suggest The Goonies. It's got who's in it even? Sean Astin, Josh Brolin, Jeff Cohen, Corey Feldman, Kei Hui Kwan. It's about all I recognize, but probably one of the best movies out there ever made, in my humble opinion. And it's got Chunk and what's the hey you guys. Such a great flick.
The longer you animals bark, the colder your lunch gets. Come on, move it out. You two down there. Hey, turkey.
I don't know if it's even started snowing yet. I don't think so. See if it's still in the forecast anyways. Now they've pushed it back till midnight, but we are in a winter weather advisory from 9 o'clock, which it's a little bit after 9, until 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Since I told you that we had been in the area, this is the scene as they tied up the brother and they're getting ready to leave that, where they're riding the bikes away from the house. So the house is right there, and they go down this driveway. You can go right there. So I've been right there up this street. It's a cool area, and there's also if you guys have seen, I have a Great Northern Railroad tattoo on the back of my arm. There's this big tower. Now I want to get back out there. There's this huge tower, and it's like, now I got to look it up. It's something to do with the Great Northern Railway. Like, maybe it was their end place. Can I just search Goonies house? Yeah, Astoria, Washington, Oregon. Astoria, Oregon. Doesn't actually show the house. The Astoria Column. We got to get back out there. I've been to this place too, and it was super windy. It's the Astoria Column. And yeah, it's something to do with the Great Northern Railway. But now I'm not, it doesn't say anything about it. Could have swore there was a plaque or something that said something about the Great Northern Railway. One thing I remember is when we were out there, it was super windy. 164 steps, you can walk up to the top. We went to the top. Yeah, the Astoria Column, dedicated by the Great Northern Railway in 1926. So maybe they paid to build it or something like that. I remember that there was something on there about it. But yeah, we got to get back out there. I haven't been out there in a long time. Get back into this movie. I'm not even very far into it. All right, y'all. Finished the movie. I watched The Goonies and Freddy Got Fingered. It has just started to snow just a little bit. It started with some ice pellets that you could hear on the roof, but it's not doing much out there. I'm just gonna get headed into bed here. Get to sleep. Oh. Good movies, good dinner. Snow coming down out there a little bit. Can't ask for much more, but good night of camping. Maybe a little bit warmer outside so you could cook out there, but it is what it is. Better leave it over here so it don't knock it over. Alright. Good night, y'all. Snow out there. Oh yeah, I got a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it on my tire there. Yeah, there's little icicles hanging off the edge here. Oop. Don't need them inside though. Oh yeah. Yeah, a little bit of snow. Nothing crazy, but definitely still coming down out there. No 7 inches like they had said, but I don't put much trust into the weather, man, because it seems to always change. Let's get these windows opened up. Well, my windshield's completely covered, I guess. Judging by the amount of snow on my spare tire, probably isn't the best way of doing this, but we definitely didn't get 7 inches. balmy 65 in here, and this says it's 23.9, so 24 degrees outside. It's like a heat wave compared to what we're gonna have next week. I think there's a couple of days even that it doesn't get above zero. We're in the negatives all day. I brought a coffee drink, a cold one, but with the weather now, I kind of wish I could make a hot cup, but this looked tasty. I like Reese's peanut butter cup, so let's see what this is about. We're gonna have some of this bacon for breakfast, might as well. Yeah, International Delight Reese's iced coffee. I guess if it's terrible, I do have some instant coffee with me, but it does have a chocolatey taste. I can get Reese's out of that, kind of. I mean, it's no Dunkin', but not terrible. Oh, I could go back to bed though. Like, one of those ice shacks is still out there. It almost looks like it's half collapsed. I wouldn't think they'd just leave it here, but I also don't think I see any vehicles. Huh. It's kind of sketchy. Normally around here, people don't leave their stuff on the ice and leave. Like, if you're in Minnesota, like farther north, I think that can be somewhat common. I mean, especially with like the hard side ice shacks, but most people don't leave portable stuff out like this. So yeah, that's kind of sketchy. It's definitely half collapsed. I can zoom in with my phone maybe. Yeah, that's definitely halfway and over. Kind of feel like I should go see if there's a car somewhere. I mean, yeah, I feel like I need to change and go look. Last night, as it got dark, there was two shacks out here. There was a car parked on this side of the lake, and there was a truck over here and a truck over there. And I can't see. There's only one shack out here, it looks like, unless one's like hiding behind a tree. I can't see any vehicles. The vehicle's not here. I'm not super worried about it. They probably just left their junk and are coming back. But I don't really want to leave yet, but I do feel like I should go check on them. Crap. Alright. I'm gonna eat my last piece of bacon. We'll get changed and we'll go see if we can find a vehicle at least. If there's a vehicle here, then I feel like I should call 911 or something. I mean, I could walk out there, but I don't have the gear either. I don't know. They wouldn't just be laying in there willingly with the thing collapsed on themselves. I don't know. I could see a snowplow going by out there on the road, which is good. see it? Of course, it's all covered in snow. Won't put that away yet. Please don't be frozen shut. There's snow all over my seat. Oh, spilled my friggin' drink. Crap. Tight. Milk. It's gonna be awesome. I'll have to remember to clean that. Of course, when you're trying to do something quickly, you do stupid things like that. Sometimes I herp when I derp. All right, start this turd up. Got to give this thing time to warm up because I don't have a scraper with me for the window, and as you can see, it's completely covered. Somebody drove through here at some point this morning. There's another shack out there a little farther. Alright, not super worried now that I see that second shack. There's no truck over there or anything. You guys won't be able to see it on this camera. I'll have to grab my other one, but that red shack I don't feel like was there last night. There's probably 3 inches of snow on the ground here. So hard to convey to a camera because it just washes everything out white, but there's a bit on the ground, a bit more than last night. Sure there's a road right here. Squirrel. Yeah, there was a truck parked here and one up there yesterday. I see a vehicle over there along with that other ice shack.
switch to the phone because that's the thing that can zoom in the farthest, but gotta get out. It won't even let me zoom through the windshield. There you go, you see that? That's not how that's supposed to look. But there's one out there, and there's a vehicle up on the side up there. I'm gonna drive over to that side of the lake. Yeah, they've plowed this. At least this far. It's not plowed behind me. That looks like a solid sheet of ice. I've got like an hour and a half to get home. And I think I'll probably go through a thicker part of this storm, honestly, with the way it's looking. Where is it? There it is, right there. Yeah, I think it's just laying on its side. There we go. I don't believe there's anybody in there. They might have collapsed it when they left, although it looks like there might be a door open, but there's a parking area right here, which is where the truck was parked at yesterday. So I'm guessing at some point in the middle of the night they may have left. It got really windy last night, so maybe they just couldn't hang, or maybe they ran out of propane, or their regulators froze up or something. You never know. Or maybe they just do that and they leave it here. I don't think it's illegal. I wouldn't want to do it personally, but since there's no vehicle here, I don't believe there's anybody stuck here. And there is another ice shack right there. There's a vehicle parked here, so not too concerned with it. But it does make me want to just go get my junk and get out here. I need to probably go edit this video and then go get that stuff. But yeah, bit snowy. Beautiful night though. Definitely enjoyed dinner. The soup bowl was good, the bread bowl, and then some great classic flicks to watch last night, and of course a nice snowstorm to wake up to. Yeah, overall a great evening. But I'm gonna go home and get this edited, and we'll see where our next adventure takes us. So as always, stay tuned for the next adventure. I'll see you in a bit.